Morning. Yes, we're here to do the super chats. It's been a bit. How have we gone with our weekly energy? Have we gone well? How have we been? I must at some point, I know that we've had 2 posts today. So between the live and then obviously this one, it's deemed as 2. I can only put 1 more post. I may put an update as to some things I've been sharing with the members. If you do want to come through and join the members, I'll have to add a video so at the end I can show you what happens in our members. We do have the pre-release star signs. We've got the twin flame weeklies. We've got element reads that come up for the masculine and the feminine. And we have the chat rooms and Discord, which we have added a Venus retrograde room, which I've got to put some more posts up in that. And that's going to be there as an added support with guided meditation, tips, basically daily, weekly, whatever comes through to me psychically that we can use to aid us through our Venus retrograde, because it's going to be an interesting one, so to speak. So we are here to do the super chats. I did share the super chat list with the moderator, the main moderator anyway. You just crawled out of the rabbit hole. You got to come join us, Lisa. Honestly, a lot of the other thing is my guides, especially with the coaching, I have found that spiritually our ascension process is becoming a bit strict. It's like we're being taken to this next level. So yeah, especially with blockages and things to that degree, because we've got Saturn and Pisces and Neptune and Pisces this month that will be retrograde. Really moving into the next month, we do have quite a few transits that have the nodes shifting. Venus will be retrograde. Mars will be in Leo. Then it'll move into Virgo. So lots of, what else? Aries and Chiron goes retrograde. Was there a reason I got this notification? Unsure. So I did do some, especially when the pod went missing, the submarine went missing. I was talking to the members about it. Some of my predictions based on the astrology I may share. Also had a few psychic downloads directly after in relation to it, which I did share to the members. I've shared it to my Yildiz Readings Facebook page, so you can go and read those posts there right now, or you can wait till I do post them up. I may do a video on it, which I found was very interesting, especially from a psychic medium point of view. I've developed it over the years, and we do tend to have interesting cryptic ways that messages come through. And sometimes it's about learning to work with your guides so you can understand what it is you're seeing and where to look. It's a little bit like the sixth sense. Spirits, energies, messages, they won't leave you alone till you get it right. So from a very young age, I had to go down that rabbit hole with that circumstance. So, Kerry, how you doing? So, yeah, I had some very weird things really come through. And I must say, on this occasion, I did not channel the energy of those individuals, probably because one of the last times we had Cleo Smith go missing, I did. And I've got to check back to what the astrology was back then, but I did know she was going to be found. This is also a time as Venus goes retrograde to protect your safety, especially on anything Venus. This can be rides. It can be, rides, things that you do of a Venus nature. So it can be if you're going to a bar, protect your safety. If you're out and about, protect your safety. That can be women and children as well. Now, so we have Kerry. So just general energy, Kerry, or you got a particular question? So I may do an update on the pod. So the psychic messages came to me after I had looked at the astrology on the day it went missing. And I also did put a post up on YouTube of some of the interpretation. The other was that in order to gauge how the situation was going, I only had one individual who was on the pod that was actually quite famous, very Jupiter and Taurus, because Jupiter can be to do with flying, education. Again, Jupiter can be larger things. Again, Taurus money, so a rich person on a submarine. And again, Jupiter also is like large vehicles, large planes, large submarines, and Pluto was retrograde in Capricorn. So I did put my interpret up and I discussed it with the members, and I talked about the fact that not only did I look at the T-square on the day, but also the gentleman's birth chart, which had a lot of activity. And an individual said to me, oh, does that mean that that's when it's the person's to pass? And I said, no, it's a little bit like if somebody gives you a weather forecast and you look at the astrology on the day and then you look at the person's chart. If they're really matching and lit up like a Christmas tree, it's a little bit like they say, don't go bungee jumping. So it was one of those circumstances, unfortunately. Anywho, we will get into Kerry's super chat, just general. Sweet. Okay, what does Kerry need to know, please, at this time? Oh, you're waiting for me to say sippy sip. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so you have been thinking back to some nostalgia. There could have been, this could have been children, maybe some conversations that were had. Frustration, there's frustration there. I don't think this is in association to you. I think this is really linking to a person that you know, you're a bit worried about them. You're thinking that they're making some radical decisions and they could be very mistake orientated. You're very concerned about this person. There's various things to do with the path and you're hoping they get out of the circumstance. You're also still psychologically and emotionally moving forward, but yet again, you are going back to looking at this individual and you've got the worry war energy. The funny thing is, I really have been talking to the members about this quite a lot lately. And it is to do with the fact that what we focus on is what we co-create. And it's not that it's incorrect. It's not that your reality of this situation isn't correct. It is. But again, don't look at it as a job for you. That it's natural, especially for an empath, to feel empathy, it's a little bit like you're saying to a child, don't touch the stove, you're going to burn your hand. And, because of the time frame that has been involved in the information that has come to you, you're still looking at this like you're, because you care about this person or people, because I'm thinking it's people, it's a group, you're rather concerned and you don't want them to get hurt. You empathize because you have been in a situation similar to this at some point in your life. And you also feel if you stay on the straight and narrow in life, you're more likely not to get hurt, which actually is a fallacy because we all will have the good and bad. But this is really nagging at you at the moment. My advice to you would be is try to not focus on this too much, because what it does is take us down the rabbit hole and it kind of keeps that situation stagnant. Spiritually, to a degree, you've almost got this under wraps, because I am looking at you in the past position and a lot of you directly has changed. So to a degree, you're also saying to yourself, although I know these individuals involved maybe going down the wrong rabbit hole, dealing with things in an untoward way or, maybe a non-appropriate way, and you're very concerned, you also from a higher ascended point are looking at it going, well, hey, when you walk a mile in a person's shoes, sometimes by making mistakes is where our greatest lessons are. So, it's heartbreaking, but you also are psychologically saying, sometimes in life when we have a hard road, it means we learn quicker. Does that make sense? So effectively, you are looking at it from both polarities, the old you, but the new you is, well, hey, in hindsight 180, I'm looking at this differently and therefore theirs can be different too. And then it's coming back to love. This is coming back to love. So try to look at the adversity as a positive thing. It sounds crazy, but the adversity is actually causing this person to want to leave that circumstance quicker. This could be quite a cryptic message for you, but it does feel as though whatever you're viewing, you're kind of compartmentalizing. You can feel psychologically that you're going back over old ground, but you're coming back to the here and now. You're persevering forward. You also are making some very bold decisions in your life. There's been a lot of closure with certain things. You are becoming more open to love, but at the same time, with a lot of things that you're going through at the moment and changing, it's very It's almost like you're returning to the Zen, you're returning to the peace. Yes, it does make sense. Can you advise if there is a positive energy coming for money improvements? I do feel so, but I feel, again, your attitude with this, it does feel, this can feel to do with a group of people. I do believe it's love, children involved. Whenever I see this card, always connects to children. Maybe past tense energy, a person you dealt with, a breakup that you had, and what they're psychologically going through, and what your viewpoint is, especially if there's gossip coming through the grapevine. The other that I'm seeing in general with your life is that you are, because you have compartmentalized and you've made some very hard decisions, the circumstance that is coming through is going to be you're attracting good contracts into your life. You're having to challenge the status quo. And if they aren't going to give you what you want, you're going to tap out and you're going to go elsewhere. I don't feel you're going to have to. I feel this is going to be positive. So just be very detached with it, because this is contracts. But again, because Venus is going retrograde, you would really want to know where you stand with that. Otherwise, don't push, go with the flow. Or if you've got other situations kind of dealt with, and money is coming in from a separate stream, it's going to give you more flexibility to go, well, I'll just sit with it for a bit and I'll do me. I'll be Little Miss Muffet sitting on a tuffet, not getting scared. And if you don't work with me, I'm not working with you. Okay. Who do we have next? We have Shazza. She's going to hate me. And I still haven't added you as a moderator. It's been a running joke. So those of you that are new, just still feel welcome. I've been in recovery the last few weeks, coughing on and off, heavy schedule. Shazza. Yeah, all the Australian sayings we have. Okay, what do you want to look at, Sway? Anything in particular or just general energy? Oh, well, one's come up already, so they might have decided for you. That's another thing, the psychic energy, and many times what is given, especially by a psychic, it's almost like, and I don't particularly need the cards. I generally can astro project and see surrounding energies. You could ask a question, for instance, and whatever I feel energetically, I'll give you the update on. But generally, they always do have something other than what you're asking. So first card we got is a third party. Okay. I feel you're still gauging this situation. I don't feel you're scared. I don't feel you're anxious. I feel you're aware of the circumstance. You could be a little bit worried about that individual. There's some sort of vibe that you're getting off them. It might have been in the last week, maybe. This could have been an energy download psychically of some sense of conflict that they are addressing. I wouldn't say, would I say you're worried? Yes, but no. You're also looking at you in the mix. And it's really funny, especially for those of you that are twin flames that watch me. And even if you're not, generally an empath, we have a 3D experience and we have a 4D experience. And the 4D experience, 9 times out of 10, especially because the Neptune and Saturn are going to be retrograde, is the fact that we are going to be facing our affairs. And again, because Pisces is in the 12th house, it's a little bit like, a person's having a midlife crisis and like, oh my God, I don't believe in new beginnings. And you're standing on the edge and you're needing to be the full card in tarot for a new beginning, but you're apprehensive and you're trying to pull back. You're like, nah, that looks a bit high. I don't know if I want to jump. So we get stuck in a cycle and we're meditating and observing and checking whether it feels safe to proceed. And that's kind of the analogy that they're showing me. So to a degree, you're getting stuck in the 4D. And that generally can be when we have attachment. I'll just be perfectly honest. We're all human beings. We all go through it. So you, in a sense, are seeing a physical change, which is fantastic. There is a changed approach you're implementing. You're looking at this, you're taking it slow, but something is pushing you. Hey, Ben, something is pushing you energetically where you are wanting to go a lot quicker. And so it's almost like you're doing a risk assessment. And because of that risk assessment, you're going, it's all those self-fulfilling prophecies coming into your head. It's going to take ages. And I'll just give you an example. It's going to take ages. They're never going to leave the karmic. And so you're going down the rabbit hole in the 4D. Now, how this can play out, if you've had a great vibe for weeks and you've been going with the flow and all of a sudden it gets negative, if you have physically tuned into a karmic or you have felt run down, naturally your aura is going to drop into the 4D. So what does that look like? It's self-fulfilling prophecies, it's depressive thoughts, it's all the negativity. You can do a clearing. The Gemini moon did get us up in our heads. Let's just be perfectly honest. There also were difficult aspects around that time. We had T-squares, as mentioned, to do with the predictive energy I put up to do with the pod that was missing. I do feel, again, it's to do with third eye. Pluto also has moved back. What zodiac are you, Dale? Is it Aquarius from memory? I think it is. So again, I do think this is it's like your energy channeling, right? Because you were ready for a new chapter, but you could feel like to get to that new chapter, you're already there. The other person isn't. I think the karmic is here. Yeah. And other people. Leo. Well, same. Okay, so Leo energy, because I felt the Aquarian energy. They kept mentioning Aquarius. So the Aquarius energy theoretically would be your love zone. We had Pluto there. It's moved back into Capricorn, so it's back into the 6th house. So you're wondering, am I being silly? When you jump into the 6th house, it can be the house of our undoing. But it's Capricorn, it's Pluto. Have I let go of things? Should I have moved forward? I'm in this routine. Is it stagnant? Is there something I missed? Like, do I take it with me? Do I pause or do I proceed forward? It can be mind as well, right? So, their energy, first point of call, I would say, especially because Mars and Venus is going to be in Leo, you can be very heavily thinking about life. You're like, I want to move forward. Thing is, Venus is going retrograde. So use this time to investigate. I do think you're on the right track. I do feel the anxiousness, and I always call this, and this was like a simulation a lot of us do tend to go through. And it's like at the arrival gate, instead of going through the destination on the airplane, going for a trip, getting to the destination, enjoying the dynamic, we're sort of already at that location, pre-planning out, which is very Virgo in nature. It's the psychically picking how the path is going to look. I am still speaking in metaphors because what I am seeing here at the moment is the door is open and there is communication coming through with you and TF. The vibration I'm getting is you could be psychologically looking at this and thinking this person is never going to evolve. But in fact, if there is attachment, it kind of ends up being a signature that both parties have. So when you psychologically let go of it like it's a job and you just open yourself up to the natural rhythm of universe, it tends to happen quicker. Yep, say third eye. Okay, third eye. It's like you're trying to protect yourself. Drop it as a goal, not a goal. Drop it as kind of like something to carry psychologically. Try and go with the flow. You also could have some information that does come towards you that could trigger you a bit. Again, it's just a spiritual test. Yeah, look into twin and see how they're evolving because their energy directly has changed towards you. So you are doing the right thing. You are moving on the right path. Definitely do a clearing. So you can do, how do I explain it? You can do a energy clearing for your home, an energy clearing for you, drink fluid. I would use obstinine or tourmaline to protect you. Try to avoid amethyst. And there could be, what else can I suggest? And tune out of the karmic, honestly. Tune out of any karmic situation, any blockages that could happen. Because what tends to happen is we co-create it and manifest it. If you see that as a physical problem, what's going to come up is that dynamic directly just continues like it's a problem because we're giving it energy. We're feeding it energy. So tune out, cut that cord, do a cord cutting too, okay? But you overall, you're on the right path, Dale. The transits moving back into Pluto are messing with you a bit. Use it as investigation and almost look at it like, how could I say? Like you're, okay, this is just an analogy. It doesn't mean it's what's happening. Instead of looking at, we're married, look at it as, I've just met you. The energy is flowing. Let's let the flower evolve. And it's a process. Do you get what I'm saying? And what you'll find is that comes quicker. And so you go from base 1 to base 2 to base 3. But instead, we're sort of energetically at base 1, and we're thinking, gee, from our personal experience, to get to the end date, the end goal, it's going to take ages. It's like watching paint dry. So what you got to do is energetically come back to the here and now. And then that window where it was, that is now going to be shortened because you're moving with the vibration of it. Okay. Yeah. So clearing, smudge, shower, you know. Okay, so we have Donovan. Is that Don Scorpio? I think it is. Okay. What do we have? So, yeah, those of you that are in the chat, hopefully some of these tips can still land for you, especially if it's a circumstance coming up for you. We're all human. You know, it's happened to me. That's where I got my experience from to share with you guys, is because I've usually done it myself. Okay, so I think it's Don Scorpio. Let's see. Oof. Don Scorpio, what have you been going through? This feels heavy. And it's really funny. I've only needed 3 cards. So we're just going to go with it, maybe 4. And we'll see what comes through. Okay, the first thing is, I don't know why I'm getting a very heavy vibe. This heavy vibe feels like it's something weighing over you. It could be, again, I do feel, again, this could be a psychic frequency that you're going through at the moment. This could be something very heavy that you're feeling. Left and right. I kept getting left and right. Yeah, especially relating to Venus. It's like you're kind of looking at it, and this is going to come up for all of us. Number one, we're going to get heart chakra and higher heart chakra. Ego also in the mix is going to be involved, and we're going to want to control it, especially with Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. It's almost like we're having to dive deeper than we've been before, but at the same time, then we're looking at it from a secondary nature and saying, risk assessment, is this going to work? How am I going into this in the depth? It feels very heavy. Now, this could be you assessing your path in general. This also can be anxiousness psychically because you're picking that somebody from the past is coming back. A, it could be because you know transits, or B, it could be that you're just sensing this person's vibration coming in from the past. It does feel anxious. So if you are channeling information and you're getting this sixth sense, you're hoping it's good, but you're kind of worried that it might not be. So there's an apprehension to do with this situation. I do think this is a romantic interest from the past. And I feel it's a physical presence. It's like an energy. You also could hear through the grapevine, if this person was in a connection, that they are broken up. The other message that they're giving me is that you're wondering if the history is going to repeat itself, how it's going to go. I feel this is very much to do with a group of people. I also feel this is in the context of a romantic connection. Surrounding energies like money, I do feel is going to start coming towards you, but I do feel that you're changing something in the way that you're implementing life, maybe a job, a business. It feels something's changing there. Yeah. You're also very wary about what you tell people, because I do feel it's almost like that. We call it in, different cultures have similar kind of analogies that they use. It's in script, it's in text, and it can be to do with an evil eye. So it's almost like jealousy can attract negativity. It's almost like, especially with empaths, we tend to be quite shiny energetically. It's like an aura that can come through. So you will directly attract, I'm hearing the term, what's her name? Michael Jackson's sister, like a moth through the flame. It's attracted to the light, attracted to the fire. The funny thing is generally we get burnt, they don't, but then it teaches us boundaries. So the one thing I am getting is, I do feel you could be psychically getting some downloads, which can feel a bit like juju. It's a bit like somebody's talking about you, or you're sensing that this person's around you. I do directly feel they're very close. I do think you're going to get some major gossip. You are worried about how it's going to go in the future, if it's going to be nice or cruel. You're hoping that it's going to be, this person's going to have this art of appreciation for you, but your worry is also, how will this go? Is this going to go positively? So there is a dark energy kind of hovering over you, but I think it's more, again, to do with the 4D. I do think somebody is tuning into you right now quite heavily. They could be at a crossroad, but they're deeply, deeply thinking about you. Yes, Janet Jackson. That's it. Yeah, I was getting Janet, the moth through a flame. And it's true, because, light attracts, anytime we have an extreme with insects, it's even been, I think it's been in many scripts. Lots of crows, lots of birds, lots of bats, lots of insects. It's always been quite cryptic and a message of, taboo subjects coming up. I see the red door. Okay, so what we got here. Okay, Lisa, how you doing, girl? Are you enjoying your twin flame path? And again, this can be a question to any, you don't have to choose one subject, one question, or current energy. So, do we have Lisa in the house? Lisa. So, members, you guys will I'll have to go back and double check if I've actually opened those star signs, because they're ready. I might as well open them to you. Maybe what we'll do is the next post, if I haven't opened, I'll have to check if I did even schedule it, but it's ready. So you can, for those of you that don't want to join the YouTube membership, if you do want your star signs pre-release, they are open via the website, and you can purchase a one-off pre-release of all 12 zodiac signs. And they will prepare you not only just for this month coming, but for the next 18 months because of our node shift. So if you want to grab them now and prepare yourself. One of the videos I mentioned energy similar to an eclipse, but more than likely it's more to do with the heaviness. Okay, so Lisa has not showed. I'll pull the energy then. I know the context of what more than likely she will ask. So I did read one of the posts that Lisa put up, and I think she was going to whoop twin flames. But whatever the context was, Lisa, you'll have to tell us, because with that three-way conversation you had, would be interesting to know what it was bringing up for you. Okay, so what we got? First thing I'm hearing is you don't want to take your work home. I think it's more of a metaphor. You're really wanting that individual to be more ambitious and to look at the bigger picture in life. But the first thing I hear is that you do not want to bring, how do I explain it, your context, your work home. And it's a metaphor. You're going to understand what that means. You want this person to be quite driven and to have goals bigger than what is just the here and now. You do think that this is actually taking a toll. You don't know, like for you, you're hiding. Okay, now the context of what I'm getting, love, is you're looking, I feel this is you looking at it in your twin and you're thinking, look, I don't want to take this on as a job. And it's like you're gospelly saying it and you're saying it and you're saying it. And it's really what we say in Australia is they're doing your head in, right? It's like you feel like you're beating your head against the wall and you're like, are we there yet? Can we try something different? How about you place it to them? What can we do to look outside the box, apparently, because you're part of the equation and you're gospelly wondering how the heck you become part of the equation. You know what I do directly feel it's connected to? It could be the industry that you worked in. And because of such, they're like, well, you know what you're doing, right? You know what you're doing. Come on through. You're like, whatever I need here. So be it the context of a divorce, the person to get help, you're like looking at them and you're going, well, this directly is impacting you now, and you're going down. Love can only go so far. And look, love doesn't have to be, hey, I'm deeply in love with you romantically. It can be love as empathy. So this person's empathy is directly affecting their aura. You also hold the empathy for them in the given situation, maybe because you walked a mile in their shoes, but you also know that not necessarily, even if you have empathy, is it going to work out and is the status quo maintainable? Okay. You're having to repeat yourself quite a bit. I don't necessarily look, I do feel at times they are looking at you as if there is maybe jealousy or insecurity, but I'm really not feeling that. Well, that's actually, I do feel that it is through the empathy and a contract. Look, 90% of the time, I'll give you some advice. If you do know your twin's birth chart, you can actually pull your birth chart up and their birth chart up. And in the birth chart, what you want to look for is the south node. Your north node, their south node. And you're going to see a correlating energy. When I did mine, I went on to, and the whole reason I started looking at astrology is because I am a psychic medium. Okay. And so for a very long time, especially back, a lot of this awakened energy started kicking off 2002. We had a portal of 2015, 16, really amped up in 2017, especially in the light worker community. And then we had the Schumann starting to really spike. It was getting to around 100 and 150. And I was laughing the other day when people were talking about the Schumann. It's never been that high. No, it theoretically hasn't. But I mean, have we been gauging it for 90% of, the planet's life cycle? No. Yeah, well, that's the context. They're kind of saying, hey, you know what you're doing. So yeah, look at it. I'll give you some advice on it in a minute. So anyway, the context of checking astrology was based on I was sensing waves. There was incoming, there was, high points where we're feeling very grounded. And there's tests we go through. For you have gone through that energy process. Then looking in, you're looking at this person and each side will have a karmic cycle to close. Sometimes you do directly have a karmic cord with this individual. This person, you may even have, if you even looked at the karmics chart, you may have had a previous life with this individual. In a reincarnation situational shit, we do tend to have individuals from past lives that do come back in. And there's reasons these people become involved in our life, and it is for closure of breaking karma. So in my birth chart, in twins' birth chart, in looking at it, the role I was taking on in this lifetime was karma for the role I played in the last. And that's about as far as I have articulated that to clients. to the members in the members hub, which we go deeper, and that's to protect the individuals involved in that situation. But that's really what I'm saying. Look, you can look at it too. When you're going into it, the person is actually saying to you, I want you to understand that they know that the individual who is with them is in love with you. They also want you to not feel ever uncomfortable to ever be around them. So it's almost like a peace offering. And I don't think there is anything romantic there. I do think these are two individuals that knew each other for a long time, that have some history. You've been in their shoes before. You may need to, as a friend point of view only, maybe look at your expertise to be able to maybe deal with it differently. Does that make sense? So it's like more coming in from a detached point of view, having an honest, earnest conversation, almost like there's somebody, you're working at a center. They're two Joe blogs you haven't met before. You're giving an honest interpretation of the situation, emotions taken out of it, but emotions given in a sense of sensitivity and integrity. And it may be received a bit more direct. Do you get what I'm saying? Because at the moment, you're coming with experience. I do think, if anything, you probably have more to worry about with your twin than you do the karmic. And that's because what they're not accepting, and they're probably needing to get closure from this, and you won't be the solution to this, they're in avoidance of it, is to turn into that situation and ask themselves, where did this wound come from? Because this wound didn't come from the karmic. This wound came from somebody else who they had in their life. Could have been a mother, father. But something has gone down to make them believe and to be forced. And usually masculines will remain forced in a karmic situation until they reach closure based on a circumstance of childhood. So that's what I'm getting at this point. I don't think you're on the wrong track. I do think each interval you go in, you're chipping away at it differently. You're just going to have to keep your cool with it, Dale, okay? Because what you're hoping for is, you're really concerned about them. Don't feel that your twin can get to rock bottom, okay? Because if you have been there and you've walked a mile in their shoes, you're going to accidentally trauma look at this situation and go, that's your deepest fear, is that this person's going to go down the gurgler. They're not going to be able to resurrect themselves. Say to yourself, if I was able to do it, they are. Does that make sense? Anyhow, I'll leave it at that. They are the messages they wanted me to give you. And I will get on to the next one, who is Dawn. Oh, God, Dawn's in the house. What song am I going to get? You don't want me to tell you, Dawn. Okay. We're getting there gradually. We're chipping through the pile. Oh, the first song, you'll kick me, Dawn. You'll be like, bloody Yildiz, what about me? Flowers. Do you know the funny thing is my twin absolutely loves that song because it gives the analogy of if you can't love yourself, you can never love somebody else. It's like, don't look at, sometimes people can't give us everything. It's a physical reality, but to honor one's soul, sometimes it's like you just got to love yourself more and just accept who you are as a person. I still think they're going to reconcile. I'm deadly serious. I'm going to look at their chart. They've been popping into my head the last few weeks. And Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly for some reason. Probably because they reconciled. Anywho, let's look at Dawn's. What about me? 20 years. I think, okay, we need to tune out of the 20 years. I did the same, Dawn. It was like 20 years, 20 years, 20 years. It was like, what is there going to be another 20 years? Don't do that. Yes, I don't like him running too karmic about our business. It's okay. He's got mummy issues. But technically, you're being dragged into a third-party situation, love. So she has an involvement in this, which she's kind of like, look, if I wasn't in this situation, he would have been adios. I would have been caring for myself. You guys could have had your bloody love story. You know what I mean? So does it make a human being feel shitty? I would say yes. Especially because when we do need someone to help us, I know, especially from all my years of nursing, the soul is so independent. And each chapter of our lives, when we get to that point where we need help, especially for males, whoever the individual is that's most independent, you've seen it yourself. They don't want the help. They want their life back. Like losing your driver's license because you become elderly or lost your sight and you can't do it anymore. Your sense of independence has been taken away. So inevitably you are pissed. Who has been popping in your head? I just heard the song, What About Me? Okay. And Sweet Home Alabama. What the hell is that about, John? Okay, you're going on a road trip. You're like, you know what? I'm having a holiday. I'm going somewhere. It's like you're looking forward to something, but it's just to get I'm hearing the term getting the hell out of Dodge because that individual is peeving you right now. Yeah. Old things are coming back up for you. I don't know if it's projection or, they're kind of making out that you're jealous or you're insecure to do with the situation. It's like pointing the finger. But you're like, no, I just want to be valued and treated correctly. Simple. Simple, simple. You get a happy life. If it's so happy, why do you keep complaining? I definitely see your mum's going to keep harping at you, Dawn. She wants to see you. Has she tried to negotiate the terms? You're just wanting to put this situation to bed for a minute. And look, in the romantic context, that would be great. I feel it's more in the psychological context. If I just need to put this to bed for a tick, have a break, and then you feel you'll be more balanced to look at this. Does that make sense? But at the moment, you're kind of like, this has got a bit of a, yeah. I'm telling you, she's not going to give up. There could be a reason why spiritually you have to see her. It has come up in a couple of readings. Sometimes these situations can be preordained. They just magically fall into place. But she really wants to see you. And she could have some spiritual advice here, especially because I'm feeling an ancestor that's passed over. That's going to be directly working through her. She's sort of, and I feel it's a woman energy that had transcended over. She's trying to communicate through your mum to get you over there. There's something of a different relationship you're going to experience with that person when you're visiting. And I feel it's going to be lighter. It's going to be different. You may actually talk about some of the circumstances, although I don't necessarily feel you tell her everything, but she knows enough, if that makes sense. There is a dynamic where you directly want to have a break from it. I do think she's going to have some cryptic messages given to you. You just need to get away from the karmic energy, okay? Yeah, before you whoop their ass. So, yeah, I feel her energy very light. I feel she's going to communicate effectively with you. I do feel that this is the Pluto energy. It's like, right, we need to put an old chapter to bed. So what do old chapters look like? Old chapters, because of Pluto, is this and this. It's feelings. They're not the physical things. It's more the deeper things that we believe to do with endings, new beginnings, chapters, relationships. I mean, if you look back on a twin flame path, for instance, a lot of the polarity of what we're conditioned to believe is, you grow up, at some point you meet someone, you might date, get engaged, get married, have kids. That's it. That's what we've been conditioned in modern society. And everything has really, I would say, oh God, since the 80s really changed. So they're false belief systems. And with this moon phase and Pluto, especially next month, A lot of that to do with family conditioning is coming up. But I do think your mum's got a very new age kind of look on things. She's kind of hip, really. You'll have to tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm really feeling she's really hip. I do think by you being away, it's going to cause a change within the karmic situation. But it's also going to give you a break so you're not having as many psychic attacks and you're going to get grounded. But I do see you physically. If you don't, you're going to whoop ass. You're going to lose your cool. You're going to be better in a manifestation sense. Is he worried that when you're away, you might meet someone? And I don't think, look, your main goal wasn't to go, it's not you don't love your mum, family, etc. It was that you were directly going somewhere else. But there's a reason universe is saying also go to mums because, yeah, there you go. She is new age. She knows what to say. She's direct. She selects her words correctly, so she could be channeling. She selects her words effectively. But in going and having a break, then going to see mum, you're going to be grounded enough to hear the messages. Does that make sense? I hope that helps, Dawn. But I do think this is part of the change is by detaching the person being left alone for a bit to deal with what it is where they don't have a break and they can't just tap out. And what a perfect time to go where you're not enabling because during a Venus retrograde, they have to sit with the karmic and that's going to bring a lot of problems up in karmic relationships. I hope that lands. Anywho. Cosmic journey. But yeah, just don't walk past. Don't walk past. You got this, girl. You can do it. Other beautiful things around you are happening and they're exciting. Keep your vibe high, Dar. We just had a new moon in Gemini this month. It's perfectly normal to feel a little bit distorted. You know, it was a new moon, but it was making hard aspects, which does mean you could be second guessing yourself because the shadow sign to it is your love life, which is Sag. So just move through it. It's going to be okay. I'm hearing girls just want to have fun. Good morning. Hi, Cosmic Journey. What are we looking at, sweet? What do you want to look at? First card you got. You're second guessing yourself, but not in a bad way. You're making choices you feel are correct for you, but you're now second guessing it. Yeah. So you have been busy, 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 but you're also trying to be more realistic with things. Okay. So, yeah, you're trying to be realistic. You have a lot of things that you're unpacking at the moment. You got two things coming up here. This could be a feeling that because of the way you're handling it, whatever the guides want to school me about, I don't think you're doing anything wrong, Dove. I think your schedule, the person maybe has misinterpreted, and I don't think this is a bad thing. I think a lot of times the universe kind of sets up some things for us to be busy with, so that maybe an old pattern that we used to have, it kind of dilutes it down, and it's not even intentional, but it does heal karmic lessons in our twin's life, and it goes vice versa. So you being busy and unavailable has caused them to sit in their shadow. They have had some insecurities that come up, but that was for them. Does that make sense? I do feel your hope and your dream is to, you know, have love in your heart, have a relationship and to proceed forward. But the feeling you're getting is you are not happy with the status quo. So you're trying to better your life. You're putting your energy into areas of your life that you feel are very important. I do feel this could be instinctual. This could be to do with life preparation. And look, I was really getting that download a couple of months ago. It's time to level up. It's time to get our foundations in order, get ourselves prepared. I wouldn't say a window of opportunity. It's now or never kind of frequency. Does that make sense? It's like time to level up. So the areas that we're all spiritually correcting, as well as for you, is because you instinctually are feeling psychically it's time to get that stuff sorted ASAP. And so you're being guided effectively with money, with your relationship energy is there, but you're also wanting it very different. And so now you're becoming a soldier to prepare your foundation for that process, because you don't see the future as sustainable if you don't prepare that. Does that make sense? I mean, as far as you're concerned, something would have to radically happen for this to go quicker. I do think, however, the way in which you're handling life at the moment is actually causing it regardless. So there could be a feeling that you have that it's going to be quicker than you thought, but it could be by the actions you're taking that are creating that. Because kind of the feeling that you're showing them right now is you don't know what they're doing. They've been conundering over it for ages and saying everything's in the status quo. You, however, have changed gears and you're like, well, I'm planning for my future. And it's because of that it's causing this reality for this person to look at their life of what's not working. Does that make sense? That you can't help them carry it or reduce their angst, anxiety. You empathize, you've been there yourself, but it's something they have to work out. Can they do that forever? Because you have decided no. It doesn't mean that it's staying the same. Your attitude is being redirected away from what is terrible and irritating and more towards, well, okay, I'm protecting myself. I'm protecting my finances, my foundation, and my movement ahead. Do you know what I mean? And it is causing a shift in this. I would say there is a possibility of some information coming towards you, but I also feel instinctually you're going to pick it up psychically. Okay? You might have even picked up that there was maybe a little bit of passive aggressiveness because you weren't available on a slight undertone. Again, it's you're channeling the energy from that person. That's all. It's not that they think negatively of you. It's a vibration of a trigger that went through them. Okay, I hope that helps, love. Marie. Let's get your card. Hi, Dale. Would like to know about my DM. What's going on? Let's see. I feel a bit down. This could have been something that you picked up this week. I think they're picking up on you. That's okay, Cosmic Journey. I hope it's helped. Okay, there's something in your mind that they're channeling. And, it's really weird how this happens. And also, it's very hard for people to understand that one person on one side of the planet thinking about another person on the other side of the planet, that we all directly are linked. Have you ever walked over a carpet and you've touched someone and the static is connected? It's like a telephone call. That's how psychic energy works. Have you ever heard of a song and you're singing it in your head and you turn the radio on and there that song is? Because we're moving through different planes, right? They're all interconnected, but we are moving on those. So for a feminine or a person who is an empath and very sensitive to energy, you're going to have heightened instincts very naturally. However, the ego attached generally is you're the only one that has it because you're having an experience, right? How another person, especially say if it's a masculine energy and it's someone who's very present in life, it usually how this will come through is when they are thinking about you is because they felt your vibe. It's because we all spiritually are connected like a tree. So it's like, this person, they know this person, especially with channeled messages. Sometimes we will directly channel through you. And that, because you have a link to that person, we then go in through you and we are linked to them and we get the messages. So on this occasion, you have been feeling something. This has been something of a lower feeling. It can be depression, disillusionment, and almost compartmentalizing. There's always the 7 stages of healing. So because you've been going through the ebbs and flows of it to try and assess, okay, within my power, within my energy, what am I going to do? You've almost subconsciously got to that disillusionment stage, where you're about to let go and just go with the flow. But because it's very depressed and down, it sent the signal to this person. Now, how they receive it is a flashback of a memory. And it's like, oh shit, this person's actually, excuse my French, this person's actually detaching. And they get this overwhelming feeling. And then that signal comes through to you. Does that make sense? It's the best way I can describe it. So they've picked up on this. You have had this experience you've been embodying, and because you tune in, it's like a channel. So if I said, I'm actually teaching you how to channel now. So you're here and you're number 1, and this person is number, and it's probably going to be backwards because of the screen. Okay, so you're number 1, right? And they're number 2. You have been thinking on this person. This person receives the telegram. This person gets the download, but they don't tend to understand how energy works, right? So it can come through in the form of a memory, a feeling, your name popping in their head, and then they have their personal experience and it gets sent to you, because simultaneously you're both on different sides of the planet thinking of each other. So how this is played out is you're being pessimistic. Long story short, you have gone through a pessimistic 7 stages of healing notion. You've been going in the ebbs and flows. You've been working through it. And there's no set guideline as to when that ends. Does that make sense? Each time that same memory comes up, that same belief system or trigger, you'll be chipping it away at it and looking at it from a different angle. This had come up over the last 3 months. So you're kind of getting to the point you're getting up and over it, but you're trying to, in a way you're saying, universe, you better bloody give me a heads up what's going on. Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to tap out and I am going to go find somebody else. And they're like, okay, then do you want us to give that to you as a simulation? Is that your physical truth? It's desperation. But it's like, if you trusted universe, you would know that universe gives it to you when you are ready, not when you think you're ready. Because when you're ready, you are in total readiness. You're just like, it's coming. And I know that the door that they open for me, when it arrives, it will be safer when it arrives. It's wrapped in perfect packaging. It is coming to me without the dramas of anything that hasn't been tied up. But if you're calling it and demanding it, what you can get is 2 things. You're sending out to universe a vibration of where you are, which can mean that somebody will come in to help heal you, but they're going to be the mirror to you. It's also saying you feel you should be somewhere else. So you have a habit of putting pressure on yourself. I should have been here by now. So when we say we're ready, we're actually not. We're angry at ourselves because we're healing. You have gone through a lot of crap. Past relationships, could have been separations, paperwork, drama. That has lowered your aura, right? You're trying to be rational, but you also are thinking a lot about this. But the unstable energy isn't the connection you hold between them and you. It is a circumstance in your life that hasn't been, it's like a decision that you feel you need to make. And it's like there's avoidance there. There's something that still hasn't been addressed yet. But it's not to do with, and it's not blocking it. It's not stopping it. But once you realize that, your vibe's going to shift. There is something that you're wanting to put down. You feel it's not sustainable. I don't think this is your love interest. I think this is another situation that you're saying you have to, but you don't want to. And that is where the blockage is. I hope that lands. But yeah, you're picking up on it. They're feeling it. They feel the sense that you are wanting to move forward. They have felt also very depressed. What they're doing is thinking about you and getting bad PDFs. Blaming you. Tracy. And then we've got the last, how many giggle after that? Who do we have after Tracy? You gotta let it go. And anything that's bugging you, you know, in your life, be it a job, a person, place, thing, house, move those pieces that don't work. How would that impact or enhance your journey ahead? Do you know what I mean? Okay, thanks, Giggle. Love you, lady. So once I do Tracy's, I'll chuck, as soon as Tracy pops in the house, if she doesn't, I'll just read. Have we done good for time? Well, I don't know, over an hour. You got to get it out. Just deal with the things that are causing you adversity, sweet. That is where you're going to get the pressure down, because 90% of the time, these things were still going to be a problem if another person entered our life. The good thing about a Venus retrograde is for relationships that shouldn't be there are going to go. Hi, Tracy. How you doing, Dove? What do you want me to look at? So whatever you feel is not sustainable and you're holding on through nostalgia, society's standards, if universe feels it's not meant to be there and it keeps coming into your head, Marie, and you haven't addressed it, what they do is generally take it from us, because they're saying that landmine there, that's not supposed to be there. And you go, no, I can maintain it. And you're like, eh. It's like they're going to move it. I'm just saying. General, okay? Universe is sympathetic, but they're also not silly. And if they're looking at us going, have you had enough yet? Oh, you reckon you want to keep going? Okay, we can keep suffering then. You know, make it hard or easy. You always get to the same road. Have you ever noticed it's like a T section of the road and you're going, I'm going to try it this way, I'm going to try it that way. Inevitably, you will end up at the same destination, but one road confronting your fears has less adversity than going the long way of avoidance around. Then our asses get kicked. And now my daughter's calling. It's okay, love. We have been literally going live every Sunday, gospel-y, for about 2 months. And previous to that, it was every Friday, and she called me then. Beep. And then I hang up and she calls back again. I hope I made you laugh, because we have to laugh for psychology's sakes these days. I actually said that to Twin yesterday. He was like, oh, I was going to say this. And then I thought better off not to. And then I said, you have to understand, I Giggle also, we do use comedy. Ben also knows this about us. Had a chat with Ben months ago, and, you know, Ben and I were chatting about, you know, down times and having to use comedy just for a bit of pick-me-up. But not everyone, especially in a very sensitive situation, is able to use that. And so we just have to understand that. It doesn't mean they don't care. It just means it's a way in which we handle stress. I think you're grateful something didn't come around for you at a point, Tracy. There's some context they're making. And, you're kind of looking at it going, maybe the way you're dealing with something or something that's come into your life at this point is simpler. It's lighter, and it's almost like being an example, having a large role to having a medium bite-sized role that's more manageable. So whatever is given to you, I think you're being very realistic. I do think this could be in context to maybe a job situation, but also with the way you are looking at love at this point. I do think you're trying to be quite realistic. You're trying to ground yourself. you're trying to ground yourself. You're trying to be open-minded, understanding, but realistic, right? You're trying to make good choices for your future. I think you are an awareness. You may have another goal that is coming in for you. This can be to do with the home. It might be to do with your future. This could be a connection from the past. Again, I do feel yet again, whenever I'm saying the past position now, the first message they're giving me is a person from the past is coming back. So for me, I am feeling there was an opportunity that was provided to you at a point. It didn't go the complete distance. You are dealing with this differently now, but it does feel this person from the past is coming back to offer you something a bit more substantial. You in the mix of it are kind of like, are they going to settle down? Are they ever going to want that? I do feel you're protecting your heart chakra. I don't know why I get this flirty individual. Now, this can be somebody who is maybe, if this hasn't happened already, especially from, how do I explain it? I'm picking two energies. One energy does feel that they're either currently around you already. It might be an associate, somebody you know, somebody you've had like maybe a history with, even if it didn't go to romantic. I feel like this person's quite playful, but it comes across that they're a bit promiscuous. All right. And you're looking at it going, oh, I know you. I see this. It's like you see the writing on the wall. You are thinking about also another individual. Now, could this be a twin? It could be. You have a strong idea of what you want. But in the heart, you're kind of like, look, should I be open and flexible and just light and not have a touch? Maybe, but you're kind of looking at going, look, lovely, beautiful. I'd rather be lonely. All right. You are holding out for a relationship that is going to commit, but there is two energies here. Easy. Two. So you could be feeling this is a little bit like a test, but I did say, and especially in everyone's zodiac signs, it won't just be Venus going retrograde. It's the fact that Pluto's in Capricorn, which will, in its total transit, be a 20-year cycle. So that's going to act like people from the past. I don't know why they're making reference to a person who's at a distance. You could have been worried about them the last few weeks, just randomly. They could have popped into your head. I definitely feel you're getting gossip. I do think you're going to hear something through the grapevine. I don't know why I get there's a potential of travel, but this travel could be online. I joke. As soon as I say travel, look what come out, journey. I'm definitely picking up a love situation, 2 to 4 people, an opportunity to assess. I think you're being quite cautious. There's a good chattiness about this situation, but I also feel that, how do I explain it? It feels that you do gel with whoever this individual is, even if they maybe in the past had been, deep players and things like that. I do feel this other individual that you had history with, however, whoever they are, I do feel they have matured. There is going to be lots of things changing in your friendship groups, lots of things changing around your love life. I do think also how you so far have been living, they're making a very solid reference to it's all going to change. That could have been your hours of work. It's like it's going under construction. It's Pluto, right? It's under construction at the moment. I feel luck. This can be around ambition, career. It's, how do I explain it? They're showing me you're going to be grateful later. You just don't know it yet. That's all they're saying. Yeah, you might be thinking, you're not, trust me, you're going to see the reasons why something was given to you in a different way. And I do feel a lot of gossip. Your aura feels very good. You may not be feeling very good, but your aura feels very good. I do feel you're on the right path. Trust what's given to you. Trust what doors are being opened. I would be cautious. I don't get a negative feeling towards these individuals that are coming towards you. You're just going to have to go into your heart space and pick what you feel is but I don't think it's a head and heart. I think if you get your head involved too much, you're not going into the heart. So although you're trying to be realistic, you need to move into it from more heart space, because that's where the honesty comes from. You can't lie to the heart. The head might be telling you danger, danger, but the heart is the truth. Whether we like the truth or not, whether we are realistic or not, we still can be realistic with the heart. But just be honest with yourself on that notion, because I do feel there's a bit of a conundrum there, but you're trying to be very realistic. I feel you're taking a grounded approach. But I do feel there could be some delay, but it's on your side, not others. It's like you're pausing. You're like, no, I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to work it out. I need to think about it. That's how it's coming through to me. Okay, so now we have... Giggle sent it to me. I've got to find it now, Giggle. I'm so slow. There it is. There it is. Cha. We do have super chats again next week. And yes, those of you that do join the members, we do have our private super chats in there, especially if you want to ask something really private. We also can add you on the camera if you need to. You can ask direct questions. We've done that before. Oh, Char, what's going on with you, girl? Oof. Let me think. Have you been having some thoughts, girl? You got the first card you got coming up as the devil. But I think this is probably sacral chakra. Yeah. Which I do think at the moment, Divine Feminine is going through the Serpent Rising. I do think there has been an activation of the Kundalini. You could be looking at a lot of things to do with endings, to do with new beginnings. To do with Pluto. There could have been, do I think you could have been thinking angry thoughts? Maybe. Let's have a look. Yeah, no, I think it's about them. Wow, this is interesting. Char, how long have you been a single mum, my love? If you don't mind me asking. Because you're like, when's it my bloody turn? Shit. Why do I have to be the one? Oh, I don't know. Sometimes being a parent in a bad relationship is a bad thing too. Sometimes it's easier to parent from a distance. But there's a feeling here of a new beginning. A long time ago. Yeah, look, you're kind of looking at going, I have been doing this a long time. Right, no help. No help. Why don't people value the things I do, who I am, the traditional energy? You know, like, you're tired of being put in the friend box. You're tired of being used and abused. You're ready for love. That moon actually activated you. So if you did go through a bit of a, you were driving along and you hit a pothole and you fell in it, and then you come back out and went, darn on this. I wouldn't be surprised if you got angry. I mean, the transit was doing such for you, where you went, I am sod you, I'm going this way. Yeah. You can have it, I can bloody have it. I'm a good person. I do things right. Have you had some interesting thoughts, Char? I don't. Like karmic thoughts. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, you will learn your lesson. That's kind of how it's coming through. You can get up out of there. If it's that great, you shouldn't stay. Even though I do think this person's single. Yeah. What do we see? Okay. You also don't want to attract another karmic in. You're like, heck, man. It sort of feels like you're in a catch-22. You're like, I'm ready. And then you're like, is it going to be the same? If it's going to be the same, I really don't have time. Honest, I don't have time. You're feeling a spiritual shift as well. This can be in association to the area, something that's going to be radically changing in your life. You might not even know what it is, but it does feel there's going to be some major reconstruction. The way you usually will know is the signature of the environments that you're living in. It's almost like it becomes foreign. It's like you're divorcing it because you're just not feeling it resonates with you anymore. This can be a home, it could be a job, it could be the people, places, things. But it's like, it's suddenly like we've had a soul walk in and we feel like we're a foreign alien inside it because we've gone through an evolution. It just doesn't resonate with us. You usually will be throwing things out and putting things away is because you're getting ready for, I'm hearing the term getting ready for a journey. Yeah, getting ready for a journey. You have to learn stuff on your own. Yeah, so how it came through on one example is, well, I'm just telling you what my guides are telling me. Well, you got into the bloody thing, so if you thought, I don't care if you drag yourself out of there, you will have to do that yourself, won't you, Mama? You'll learn then, you won't do it again, will you? That's how it's coming through. I love you, lady. Was it a flighting thought? Have we all been there? Probably. So, like, how could that look? The person betraying them, the person treating them like rubbish, using them and abusing. Yeah, it's sort of like it's the ferryman's hair to get their dues. That's what's coming through. Could you be psychically picking this up? You could be. They could be thinking that, shit, man, stop calling me. What's that song? You're bugging me. You're bugging me. I always feel guilty just in case something really bad's going on. And then she's like, oh, no, I just wanted to show you, what I cooked. I'm like, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, my daughter has called me 3 times on Messenger. She knows I work every Sunday. Well, I should say 7 days a week. Yeah, look, definitely I'm picking something. I think something shady went down for your ex-twin flame in a karmic relationship. It could have been that the person bailed on them and betrayed them. There is a separation here. There is a pending divorce. You could be, however, feeling as though because that person is in an otherwise occupied relationship that if you snooze, you lose on moving forward. However, I feel it's more to do with the fact that A, gossip, B, you could be psychically picking up on it of some huge scandal that's coming up around your twin. Okay? Char, that's the most interesting read I've had from your one in a gossipy sense. Let's see what comes through. Oh no, if something major's happened because Cheryl messaged me in Skype or the website or Discord. Yildiz, guess what happened? Okay, who do we have next? Giggle. But I mean, thank you for sharing your vengeful thoughts, Char. It was really funny. Your guides also have a sense of humor. You do me like that? What does Giggle have? Oh, okay, I'm really staring into oblivion with these cards as I'm channeling because I'm not really looking at the card to interpret it. I'm just directly getting an energy off them, and that's been with a whole lot of them. The first thing I'm getting is your romantic interest is very nostalgic. They have noticed a difference in you. They are thinking a lot about the future. The more you are calm, the more they want to see you. And it's not to say you've got to be perfect. You don't have to be. But I definitely do feel you're teaching this person the art of doing things correctly. And it doesn't mean that there's perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. But it's to get this right, there is slight boundaries, slight ways in which your attitude is aiding this to go a better way on this occasion. Yeah. Now, have you both jumped in where angels fear to tread previously? Yes. So your guidance is, taking it in the, how do I put it? In the method you are implementing, as long as you don't personalize it, this person will be, just keep remembering, universe brings things back that are prepared and right. If we are, and look, literally you've typed on there and it's 1111. So don't feel out of alignment that something is missing, because universe will give you the whole cake. But if the frustration gets there, what you will get will be far worse than the status quo. So they're saying the flow that you're implementing at this point in time is aiding this person to ascend quicker and to deal with you better. They have they're really enjoying your company. They are really enjoying your company in a very, very different way. It's rebuilding the trust back in this. There was broken trust in the past. There is a feeling of serendipity to a degree that both of you are quite in sync. Both of you know each other quite well, but you're doing it differently. It's rebuilding the trust. You're also very aware that this person is the masculine, because they do exude a, and I'm not saying every masculine does this. I'm just saying masculines, in the past, I do feel your twin has been someone who's quite assertive, quite, a go-getter, but that was taken from them. So you're actually giving that back to them for them to be the masculine. Does that make sense? It's sort of like this authoritarian energy, direct and assertive in the way they say, this is what I want. They know exactly what they want when they want it. So there's no confusing that there. I'm hearing more than words. It's something just so subliminal, something so connected. It's like knowing the rules. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Not personalizing, but just an unconscious rule. That's interesting. What are they showing me? Do I think this person is single? I do. Could you be worried that because of Pluto retrograde and Venus going retrograde, that karmics could come back? It could be that you're worried. Do I feel a signature of a person's presence in this person's life? Slightly, but more a memory, or that somebody is kind of turning up and you do have the marriage card for your future. So this is positive. This is great. But there is some gossip coming through. This could be your instincts. It could be a yucky feeling. I just don't think. Look, if the karmic is still in this person's life, I'd be so surprised. Sometimes it can be merely in a conversation piece, you know, on a level of healing, sort of like a person calling and it's quite irritational. It's like we're not together. Again, the marriage. I also feel love a godchild. Love children, but she's not a child. She's a mother now. Sugar. What am I getting here? Two alternatives. A divorce or three, actually. One message is, and this could just be something you're thinking about. Are they married? Do they have kids? One. Two, thoughts about an individual who's getting married and a potential invite. That's two. Three is definitely marriage, but wariness of keeping your cards close to your chest, seeing how things go. I think this person's on the same page as you. I'm going to pull a chakra card because I've got a feeling there's something that comes to a head very quickly. It's still going in your favor. It goes in your favor. But they're definitely saying keep implementing the calm approach. It's winning the race. It's actually going in your favor. Yeah. Keep on that Mercury energy. There could be somebody that's coming in to stir up crap, but there could be something, you know, they're opening up to you more and more. It's bringing the trust back in the connection. If there is something they're tying up and cycling out, you're also protecting yourself. They're respecting of it because it's so much more than an intimate connection. It's a spiritual connection as well. But they're definitely, their intent is to live with you, to get married and to move forward. I do think you're going to hear from them again. This can be quite soon. I do feel there's going to be some social events the both of you are going to together. I do feel there's a karmic energy here, but the karmic energy isn't as a reconciliation or anything to that degree. It looks more to me as an ending. The way they look at the karmic situation, too hard to deal with. Immature and too hard to deal with. I hope that helps. But yeah, you're definitely going to get some gossip coming through. Do I feel their vibe's good? I do. I don't get a bad juju with their vibe. I feel their intent is for future with you. So, yeah, not feeling anything bad. Necessary truth, last but not least. What would you like to know? Still awake. Look at Giggle. That's okay, Giggle. Hi, Yildiz. Currently, energies, advice on home situation. My ex destroyed my home. Ooh. That does not sound fun. Restraining order? That would be my advice. Advice on home situation. My ex destroyed my home. Wow. Good grief. So what sort of a crazy ex is this, eh? Is this one way, way, way back or just, yeah? Is this a most recent situation? Are we talking about fire here? What sort of a destroying are we going with? What are we dealing with here? Because, I mean, past 1-3 years, man. Okay. Recent past, 1-3 years. Well, shit, that's... Okay. They want this to go back to the way it was. This is the first thing they're showing me. Okay. Is there still anger? Progressively worse. The first thing they're saying is moving. The first thing they're saying is moving to cut all communication. Is there anything binding the both of you? Because they're making reference to binding. This could be children as an example, but there's a binding of some description. This could even be you feeling bad, even though you're probably angry. This could be on their side, but there's something that is keeping that connection there, keeping the pattern there. Do you get what I'm saying? Number one is they're showing me this is more a masculine energy, but again, you do have the tools to decide what to do. Either because of the history you guys had together, do they have your number? Do they have your address? Because in their mind, there is an immaturity there, right? And it simply could be something as simple as they didn't feel it got the start it was allowed to have. They're still in the past energetically, but they haven't left the building. That's what they're making reference to. They're not accepting the fact that what they are intentionally wanting is a connection. Be it they want to have children with you, settle down, lock you in. You may have liberated yourself before that became a possibility. But this person's not going away anytime soon. Is there a possibility this could eventuate in the next 2 to 3 months? Again, yes, it is. They're showing me possibly. You could have even intuitively picked this up. Okay? Where this individual is resurfacing again for a showdown. I don't think they're showing me 2 possibilities, and I don't know if this is something that has happened before. I just don't get this feeling that this person's going to stop. Yeah, I don't. I think you know that. Look, one thing they're showing me is this person actually getting in a lot of trouble, which to me, if that was so, something may come through worse. You need to be vigilant. Yeah. Well, again, house-wise, reference-wise to this person, if you were waiting on maybe information payment or something, it's looking like it is taking a long time. They're making reference to September, all right? The other thing in the reference to, is the home going to be repaired? Different situation. If it's the context of paperwork being organised, timing, money, Yeah, it's something to do with foundational. I don't know why I'm getting this person could get in worse trouble. There is a special significance in that house for you. Why are they making reference to that? They keep saying there's a special significance. You know, the Devil card can be to do with Pluto, okay? Repairing. This person's going to get in a lot of trouble, man. So if this is maybe the hold up on it and it's maybe being reviewed, they're saying it is going to be reviewed. I'm also hearing there's been witnesses. They're making a reference point very strongly that the house holds a significant, it's like a spiritual significance to you. The first thing I see is this person may either, two ways messages can come through psychically. That they're coming back again. I keep saying a cell. That's what I'm showing, is a physical cell. So it could be where they get in trouble. Metaphor. The other thing they're showing me is that this hasn't gone away, which can just mean that with the situation that you made reference to, it hasn't finalized yet. Does that make sense? Like, it hasn't wrapped up yet. So therefore it's been this ongoing thing that's taken ever so long for an outcome to be. The time they're saying is September. That's what they're showing me. Paperwork also is being made reference to, but they're also saying this house is quite significant to you. This could be, there could have been some things that were damaged that were, you know, connected to a loved one that passed over. But they're definitely saying there is some reference point, and it could be some other crap that went on in your life. So it was like bad timing. You know, it could have been a loved one passing around that time and it just came at a really ill time. But they're definitely making reference to some heirlooms. And this home being quite significant to you. I hope that helps. But definitely September, it's frustrating. Look at the opposite side of it. So I would probably spend more energy tuning into being present, accepting things for how they are, because spiritually I do feel as you're going through whatever it is. There you go. Okay, Darwin, he is around you. These triggers, sometimes the universe creates a simulation so that the wounds that we hadn't resolved of deservingness or, you know, that person, because we've got the inheritance energy. And so the first psychic message was, okay, this house actually has some sense of significance. You are protected in this, but sometimes dramas happen so that we can readdress the relationship we have with that person, because it brings that trauma back up. And sometimes can we actually put people on a pedestal? There's always going to be light and dark. Do you know what I mean? Definitely, I do see it getting better. I do directly feel that that energy is surrounding you in a positive way. But I also feel the people you're going to attract back into your life are going to be quite upbeat and positive. Okay? I hope that helps, Sway. Definitely saying paperwork. I would more focus on keep picturing in your head what it looks like when it's finished. What your life looks like when it's no longer a problem. Still look after your security for everyone during Venus retrograde. But inevitably, if this person hasn't got in trouble, I do see them getting in trouble. And they're wanting me to sum it up there. Okay. Hope you all enjoyed your super chats. I hope they gave you the messages that you were needing. If you do need a private booking, you can go to the link below. I still need to touch base with one of my clients. Okay, take care all. And I hope to see you next week or in our members for our psychic updates and support.